Hey Void, how are you doing? Still working on my 31 days of horror films, as I do most October. Well, okay. Elephant in the room time. So, next movie. This, the director. Yeah, we're gonna have to at least hit on this. Victor Salva. Okay, so we're talking about Jeepers Creepers. Okay. So, I like Jeepers Creepers as a movie. I like it okay as a franchise. At least the two I've seen. I haven't seen past that. But the director is a scumbag. So, yes, he's a convicted sex offender who's with a penchant for. I can't remember all the details and I don't really want to, but yeah, not good. And aiming towards people who are probably too young. So, he is scum. And the fact that in later movies he almost comments on that in an arrogant sort of way, yeah, the guy's a dirtbag. But I'm not here to talk about him because I'm going to just judge the art on its merits and not talk about him beyond that. So, which is unfortunate, all those things about him, because the original Jeepers Creepers is actually a fairly well put together film. It is then a lot of the camera shots are a little bit unique, and the mythology is pretty sound for the monster. There's a lot that is actually going on well for it. So, I mean, this is one of the first movies I saw Justin Long in, I think, and wow, he looks young now. But he is great in this, and he has great chemistry with his sister. Okay, so, plot. Two teens are driving home cross country. They're heading to their parents' place from college. They're pretty close in age, if not twins. I can't tell. I think they kind of hint that they're twins, but they never outright say it. But they're believable as siblings for how well they play off of each other and their interactions. Well, partway through their drive, they get harassed by a giant, ugly truck that almost runs them off the road and scares the shit out of them. Later on, they drive by and they pass that vehicle by an abandoned church, and they see a dark figure seeming to throw what look like sheets down a pipe near there. Sheets that are body shaped and covered in rope and blood. Well, they're a little concerned about this, and especially since the guy seems to have seen them and chases them again and runs them off the road. Well, they decide that at least Derry, played by Justin Long, decides he has to see what's in that pipe because if someone's in there, he has to help them. His sister is a little bit more disagreeing on that, saying that she just wants to go find the police, so Trish is against it, Derry's for it. Well, they go and check out the pipe. Now, I'm sorry, movie, but when your character actually says, you know that scene in horror movies when someone does something stupid and the audience hates them for it? This is it. That's not clever. You're still doing it. Pointing it out doesn't make it better. Yeah, it means you're aware that you're doing something stupid. And I'm okay with people doing stupid things in horror movies because people do stupid things. But really, yeah, don't go meta on us. You're no Scream. It ain't working. What is working is the creepy shots of the pipe as he's dangling down into it. Well, Justin Long falls into there and ends up in what looks like a cathedral of bodies stitched to the walls. And from there, they race to the police, and however, the creeper is now, well, on their trail. And continues to stalk and harass them from there on, killing anyone who gets in their way, as he seems to have fixated on them because there's something in them he wants. They get a mysterious call from a payphone, which is a psychic that's rambling nonsensical things to them, but seems to hint at the mythology of the monster that every 23rd spring for 23 days it gets to eat. And whatever it eats, it essentially keeps. Essentially, if it wants to see, it has to eat eyes. If it wants to breathe, it has to eat lungs. But as she says later, it's eaten too many hearts for its own to ever really stop. So essentially, it seems to have it scares people to scent their fear to determine whether they have anything it wants. So it's pretty obvious which of the of these two that the creeper wants, but they try to play it like it's a mystery. Okay, so the first a lot of the movie, a lot of the scenes are working, a lot of the interactions are all working very well, and it's a very well shot film. Especially when the creeper is disguised as a man. I will say it does lose a little bit something when the clothes come off after they've run it down a few times, and now you've got the creeper exposed, I guess. The costume is 50-50. The face part's really good, but the body itself just doesn't look quite right. And when he's crawling across the walls at people, it does look kind of silly. So everything up until the over-the-top police shootout looks great. From when it goes after them in the police station, there's where it does falter a little bit. But overall, the creeper is well put together as a concept, and particularly the beginning where he's got just the hat. There's just a few extra scenes of humor, even around the creeper itself or around the characters. That really does set this one apart. Is there's just something a little off step, and it's working. Like the crazy cat lady, the weird psychic woman. It's all odd, but it all feels like a homogenous, I guess. It holds together pretty well. The creeper itself does have a good aura of menace, particularly when he's attacking the cops. It just lands on their car and just pulls up an axe. There's elements of that are working, and a lot of this is working very strongly. But the director / writer is hard to overlook, so I can understand a lot of people not wanting to look further into this franchise because of that. And like I said, the last bits of it do get a little silly as it's running around the walls. It's exposed form. Yeah, it loses something there. But overall, I'm trying to figure out what I want to rate this one. I will say I was ready to give this one a 7, but the last act did falter enough for me to drop it down to a 6. I am trying to keep Victor Salva off of that. But it is like I said, it's an elephant in the room. But otherwise, Jeepers Creepers on its own, very decent film. Yeah. Marred by the people who made it. Okay. All on this one, Void. See you later.